Hey, Shalom to my Akim, Wa'awathim, and Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. Greetings to my brothers and sisters in the Lord. You know, this will be the part 2, okay, of the War Scrolls of Israel. And this will be entitled The Patriarchs of War. You know, I hope you enjoyed the part 1 that I did a couple weeks ago. And I had an Ak hit me up on my comment section. He's asking for this part 2, so I'm going to give it to y'all, man. Be a man of my word, right? You know, so much knowledge and so much, you know, things I want to get out, you know, trying to find that balance between working and being a father and, you know, other endeavors. It's hard to find that balance, man. But this, I do understand the oracles of this book and these lessons, and trying to feed the lambs should be chief amongst all things, nonetheless, man. So we're going to get into this part 2 called The Patriarchs of War. And one of the reasons why I developed this War Scrolls, series is to help Jake understand, man, to help you, Akim, understand the season that we're in, and that we come from a people of war, man. We're the battle axes of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. And though we've been put in the lower state and been, you know, through Christianity, been softened up, made into little, you know, weak little kitty cats, you know, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai is going to raise up his lions again, you know. This is the spirit that we need to be in. Another video that I did maybe around this time last year was a 2-part video called A Righteous Kill, you know, and I was going into the differences between murder and killing, you know, because many people, due to, like I spoke of earlier, you know, a lot of these Akim growing up in the matriarch, a lot of us growing up in Babylon with our oppressors ruling over us, you know, the conditioning. And even through Christianity, we've been made effeminate, and this war spirit, this lion-like spirit has been removed from our people. You know, and this has made us a prey and a spoil unto the nations nonetheless. You know, but these times are coming to the end, and Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai is about to raise up a tumult. He's about to raise up his elect, and Jacob is about to fight. Even these 2/3, you know. And this War Scrolls series that I developed, it was before these riots began. You know, I found it real ironic. I did the War Scroll, the first one, and boom, George Floyd, riots, you know, confusion, just, you know, it's like, damn, spirit is really out here. But nonetheless, let's go into the patriarchs of war, you know, our forefathers and where we come from. Okay, now let's start. Not I've touched on this in another video, but I want to start this lesson with faith, man. You know, some Akim believe that, you know, faith is, you know, not leaning onto carnal weapons and things of this nature. And, you know, but it's a two-sided coin. It's a duality and an innuendo in a lot of things, because faith is also engaging your enemy and having faith in Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai to deliver you, you know. And we all know that a lack of faith, you know, without faith, it's impossible to please Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, you know. And I want to go into Numbers, the 13th chapter, to talk about a time where there was a lack of faith amongst our forefathers after being delivered out of the land of Egypt. And there was a lack of faith, and that really upset the Father, you know. Then we'll get into the, you know, more stories of our forefathers implementing the faith and overcoming their enemies in righteousness, right? But let's go to Numbers, the 13th chapter, verse 1-3. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Send thou men, that they may search the land of Canaan, which I will give unto the children of Israel. Of every tribe of their fathers shall you send a man, every one a ruler among them. And Moses, by the commandment of the Lord, sent them forth from the wilderness of Paran. All those men were heads of the children of Israel. You know, that's how it should be, man. Patriarchal, you know, the men take the charge. You know, it's the opposite nowadays, right? So Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai set up Moses to, you know, get men from the tribes of Israel and get ready to engage in other land, you know, overtake them and take the land. Okay, let's go to Numbers chapter 13, verse 23-33. And they came unto the brook of Eshcol, and cut down from thence a branch with one cluster of grapes, and they bare it between two upon a staff, and they brought of the pomegranates, and of the figs. So the grapes of this land was so nice that, it took 2 men to carry, one cluster. They had to put 1 cluster on the staff, and it took 2 men to carry that. And this is from the land that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai was going to give to our forefathers, right? The place was called the Brook of Eshcol because of the cluster of grapes which the children of Israel cut down from thence. And they returned from searching of the land after 40 days. And they went and came to Moses and to Aaron and to all the congregation of the children of Israel unto the wilderness of Paran to Kadesh, and brought back word unto them and unto all the congregation, and showed them the fruit of the land. And they told him and said, we came unto the land whither thou sentest us, and surely it floweth with milk and honey, and this is the fruit of it. Nevertheless, the people be strong that dwell in the land, and the cities are walled and very great. And moreover, we saw the children of Anak there. The Amalekites dwell in the land of the south, and the Hittites and the Jebusites and the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea and by the coast of Jordan. And Caleb stilled the people before Moses and said, let us go up there at once and possess it, for we are well able to overcome it. So Caleb all right, let's get to it, man. Let's slaughter these heathens, take their shit, That's kind of how it was, man. And that's what Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai wanted our people to do. He was with our people. We had the Ark of the Covenant, right? But let's see what the response of the people were, okay? But the men that went up with him said, we be not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. Sounds familiar? Oh, no. Don't engage Esau. He's stronger than us, okay? Even though we're going to engage Esau, it's going to happen. Okay, we know that 2/3 about to get cut, but this is something that's going to happen, and we're going to be saved out of Jacob's trouble. We're going to enslave these people, man. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the whole prophecies of it all, and we're going to get into some of those prophecies, and we're definitely going to get into it in part 3. Okay, the final stand, the last stand. That's what that's primarily going to be about, But nonetheless, our people got scared, man. Let's continue to verse 32. And they brought up an evil report of the land which they had searched unto the children of Israel, saying, the land through which we have gone through to search it is a land that eateth up the inhabitants thereof. And all the people that we saw in it were men of great stature. And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak, which cometh the giants. And we were in our own sight as grasshoppers. And so we were in their sight. So they saw these giants, these Nephilims, And I touched on this and went over this in another one of my videos I recently uploaded. So yeah, our people, got afraid and were shook behind these giants, man. They lost their faith in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, and look how they carried it. Let's go to Numbers 14, chapter 14, verse 1 through 45. And all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and the people wept that night. So Israel bitched up, man. They bitched up. They lost their faith in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai by looking at the obstacles of that which they will have to face to overcome the land. Not thinking of the holy angels that will fight for us. Not thinking of the power and the might of their Elohim, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And that pissed Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai off, man. Let's continue. And all the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron. And the whole congregation said unto them, would God that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would God we had died in this wilderness? And wherefore hath the Lord brought us unto this land, to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should be a prey? Were it not better for us to return into Egypt? And they said one to another, let us make a captain, and let us return into Egypt. Then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before all of the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel. So Israel doubted Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And not only did our people doubt him, they wanted to turn back to their captivity that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai delivered them from. And these are people who saw the deliverance, saw the mighty arm of the Lord, man. And look how they was down the Lord, talking shit, coming up against Moses and Aaron. That's our people all day, man. That's our people all day. When all hell breaks loose and this economy crashes and this RFID chip and 5G Skynet system is the only way to survive, to buy and to sell, man. A lot of our people are going to be in this spirit when they start going through these afflictions, man. they're gonna be like, man, it would have just been better for us to just go to Babylon, man. Let's just go to the clinic and get this chip in our hand, man. Because Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is just having us starving. He's just having us suffer. He's not gonna deliver us. He's not coming back. You know, that's how they're gonna look at it. And Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is gonna do the same thing now. And what's about to come, and he's going to do the same thing as he did in the past, and we're going to see what he did and how he felt about that. Now let's continue. Verse 6. And Joshua the son of Nun, and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, which were of them that searched the land, rent their clothes, and they spake unto all the company of the children of Israel, saying, the land which we passed through to search it is an exceeding good land. If the Lord delight in us, that he will bring us into this land and give it to us, a land which flows with milk and honey. Only rebel not ye against the Lord, neither fear ye the people of this land, for they are bread for us. Their defense is departed from them, and the Lord is with us. Fear them not. But all the congregation bade stone them with stones. So this is wicked ass Israel, man. Our people are known for slaying the prophets, man, it's just messed up, man. This is our people all day. So they started stoning Caleb and Joshua, man. And the glory of the Lord appeared in the tabernacle of the congregation before all the children of Israel. So it made the Spirit of the Most High come down here and check them for that shit, man. And the Lord said unto Moses, how long will this people provoke me? And how long will it be ere they believe me? For all the signs which I have showed among them, I will smite them with the pestilence and disinherit them. It will make of thee a greater nation and mightier than they. This is the actual second time that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai wanted to completely eradicate the nation of Israel and restart the chosen seed through Moses. Okay? Because Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai wanted to do this on the mount when Moses received the 10 Commandments and Israel was down there worshiping that idol. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai wanted to slay all of Israel at that moment. You know, Moses really stuck up for the children of Israel, man. You know, because he could have been selfish and said, go ahead, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, slay all them niggas. You know, and took the covenant unto himself, right? And to his offspring. But listen to what Moses said. And Moses said unto the Lord, then the Egyptians shall hear it. For thou broughtest up this people in thy might from among them, and they will tell it to the inhabitants of this land. For they have heard that thou, Lord, art among this people, that thou, Lord, art seen face to face, and that thy cloud standeth over them, and that thou goest before them by daytime in a pillar of cloud, and in a pillar of fire by night. Now if thou shalt kill all this people as one man, then the nations which have heard the fame of thee will speak, saying, because the Lord was not able to bring this people into the land which he sware unto them, therefore he hath slain them in the wilderness. And now I beseech thee, let the power of my Lord be great, according as thou hast spoken, saying, the Lord is long suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation. Pardon, I beseech thee, the iniquity of this people, according unto the greatness of thy mercy, and as thou hast forgiven this people from Egypt, even until now. And the Lord said, I have pardoned according unto thy word, but as truly as I live, all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord. Because all those men which have seen my glory and my miracles, which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have tempted me now these 10 times, and have not hearkened to my voice, surely they shall not see the land which I swear unto their fathers, neither shall any of them that provoked me see it. But my servant Caleb, because he had another spirit with him, and hath followed me fully, him will I bring into the land whereunto he went, and his seed shall possess it. Now the Amalekites and the Canaanites dwelt in the valley. Tomorrow turn you and get you into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying, how long shall I bear with this evil congregation which murmur against me? I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, which they murmur against me. Say unto them, as truly as I live, saith the Lord, as ye have spoken in my ears, so will I do to you. Your carcasses shall fall in the wilderness, and all that were numbered of you, according to your whole number, from 20 years old and upward, which have murmured against me. Doubtless ye shall not come into the land, concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh, and Joshua the son of Nun. But your little ones, which ye said should be a prey, them will I bring in, and they shall know the land which ye have despised. Okay, for that lack of faith, man. Yahweh Shai got pissed off. But as for you, your carcasses, they shall fall in the wilderness, and your children shall wander in the wilderness 40 years, and bear your whoredoms, until your carcasses be wasted in the wilderness. After the number of days in which ye search the land, even 40 days, each day for a year shall ye bear your iniquities, even 40 years, and ye shall know my breach of promise. And the Lord hath said, I will surely do it unto all this evil congregation that are gathered together against me in this wilderness. They shall be consumed, and there they shall die, man. Yeah, just for the Israelites being some, bitching up, and then not only bitching up, but doubting Yahweh Shai, but also coming up against Moses and Aaron and talking trash, and then trying to stone Caleb and Joshua for trying to, rebuild their faith and remind them who their power is. They tried to put them to death. Man, they tried to kill them. They tried to kill Caleb and Joshua. And that's when the presence of the Lord came down. Let's continue. Verse 36. And the men which Moses sent to search the land, who returned and made all the congregation to murmur against him by bringing up a slander upon the land. Even those men that did bring up evil, even those men that did bring up the evil report upon the land died by the plague before the Lord. Yep, that's right. So Yahweh Shai killed them niggas, man, who went and searched the land and came back and was, causing the spirit of doubt and the spirit of fear to come upon the congregation of Israel, man. He killed them niggas for that with the plague right before the Lord, right before him, man. Because it was their fault, man. Because Joshua and Caleb was in the right spirit. Like, man, we don't care about them giants. We don't care about them Jebusites. We don't care about them Hittites. We don't care about them Canaanites. We don't care about the sons of Anak, those Nephilim. We're going to go over there, slaughter their ass, and we're going to take their land. That's what Yahweh Shai said. But the other men that went and spied the land were bitched up. And then they caused that spirit to spread throughout the congregation of Israel, to the point where the congregation of Israel came up against Joshua and Caleb. Okay, now let's continue. But Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, which were of the men that went to search the land, lived still. And Moses told, so the plague killed them, the men that went with Caleb and Jephunneh to search out the land, and they sent an evil report to the congregation of Israel. They died right then and there when the Lord spoke that judgment on them. But Joshua and Caleb, they lived. Okay? And Moses told these things unto all the children of Israel, and the people mourned greatly. So now Israel want to repent. Now Israel feel bad after what they did. And they rose up early in the morning and got them up into the top of the mountain, saying, Lo, we be here, and we will go up unto the place which the Lord hath promised, for we have sinned. Now Israel want to go and fight. After they done pissed off the highest power, man. And Moses said, Wherefore now do ye transgress the commandment of the Lord? But it shall not prosper. Go not up, for the Lord is not among you, that ye be not smitten before your enemies. So Moses told them straight up, man, y'all already fucked up, man. Yahweh Shai gonna have y'all put to death. Okay? For the Amalekites and the Canaanites are there before you, and ye shall fall by the sword, because ye are turned away from the Lord. Therefore the Lord will not be with you. But they presumed to go up to the hilltop. Nevertheless, the ark of the covenant of the Lord and Moses departed not out of the camp. Then the Amalekites came down, and the Canaanites which dwelt in that hill, and smote them, and discomforted them. Okay? Even unto Hormah. So, yeah, their carcasses became a slaughter, man. They got put to death by their enemies. All because the presence of the Lord was no longer with them, man. Why? Because they doubted Yahweh Shai and his promises, man. So that was an L for Israel. And the L came from a lack of faith, man. Okay, now let's go to Genesis chapter 14, verse 10 through 16, man. Let's get into some of these patriarchs of war, man. And what better person to start with than our original patriarch, Father Abraham. Okay, and the vale of Siddim was full of slime pits, and the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell there. And they that remained fled to the mountain, and they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their victuals and went their way. Okay, so there was a war going on between kings, and the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah was going to war with, you can read Genesis the 14th chapter, but there was a war going on, and Lot and his family got caught up in the midst of it. We're going to see what Abraham did, okay, and they took Lot, Abraham's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. And there came one that had escaped and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, the brother of Aner. And these were confederate with Abraham. Okay. And when Abraham heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants. His servants were in knowledge of weaponry. You understand how to use that weaponry. Okay. And come on now, it's Abraham now. Through him we have the covenant. Okay. Through his bloodline, man. So Abraham wasn't no wicked ass Jake, man. He was before Jake, but you know what I mean. Abraham was on point. He armed his trained servants, man. He didn't send up a prayer and say, oh, Yahweh Shemi Havashai, highest power, can you please bring me back Lot? No. He armed his trained servants. His servants were trained in weaponry. You Jakes need to be trained in weaponry, man. If you know what, this is just real, man. If you hand the average Jake an AK-47 or AR-15, 9 times out of 10, he's not gonna know how to operate with it efficiently, man. You know, it's just the truth, man. Because our people are not trained in weaponry. You know, they're gonna feel tough, they're gonna feel hard, but are they gonna know how to release a magazine, insert a new magazine, and cycle the first round into the weapon? If the weapon malfunctions, are they going to be able to clear that malfunction and continue to utilize that weapon? Are they going to be able to take apart and clean that weapon? No. But Abraham had his men on point. His servants were on point, man. Their swords were sharpened and ready for the battle at the word of Abraham. Okay, but he armed his trained servants born in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan. And he divided himself against them, he and his servants by night, and smote them and pursued them unto Hobah, which is on the left hand of Damascus. So Abraham went hard, man. Sucker free. No feelings, man. Abraham wasn't no bitch. Our forefathers weren't no bitches, man. They were men. Okay, they was about it. Okay. Abraham went and rescued his brother's son. He went and rescued his nephew, him and 318 of his servants. Okay, essentially of his slaves. You know, went and handled their business, man. They divided each other. They all divided up. They said, all right, we're gonna go to the left. Y'all gonna go to the right. Y'all gonna go up the middle, and then y'all gonna go around up the rear. We're gonna encircle these people. We're gonna crush them. Just for example, he made a game plan and executed it in war. Okay. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot and his goods, and the women also, and the people. He rescued his man. See, that's some outstanding. That's outstanding right there, man. You know, we forget where we come from, man. This is our original patriarch right here, man. Look how he got down. He wasn't playing with these damn heathens, man. He wasn't playing with them. You know, he picked up his sword and handled his business. Did he commit murder? No, he ain't commit murder. But he did kill. There's a difference between murdering and killing. Okay? Killing somebody is not a transgression, y'all. If so, if you look into the book of the law, where it says, he who commits murder shall be put to death, is the person who's implementing the judgment of putting the murderer to death, is he a murderer as well? Or did he just kill the murderer? He killed the murderer, for example. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta understand the dividing line, you know, that we may not, you know, pretty much be bitch made out here, man. You know, Yahweh Shemi Havashai be with you. If he's with you, he's with you. And if he's with you, you got the victory, man. Yes, even on a carnal level. You understand? Even when it comes to picking up that thing and handling your business. Yahweh Shemi Havashai will deliver you. He will deliver your enemies into your hands. Okay? Let's go to Exodus chapter 2, verse 11 through 22. And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown, that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens. And he spied an Egyptian smiting an Hebrew, one of his brethren. And he looked this way in that way. And when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. Yep, Moses went hard. Yep, he went hard. What did he do? He killed that Egyptian, man. Moses was just out chilling. Probably heard one of his brethren, one of these Israelites out here, screaming as he was getting smoked, beaten, getting fucked up by this Egyptian. Moses looked to the left, looked to the right, said, oh, I got something for that. And he killed that Egyptian, man. That's real man shit right there, man. He didn't pray that Yahweh Shai send down a bolt of lightning and supernaturally remove that oppressor from his brother. No, he grabbed his sword and put it through that motherfucker, man, and put him to death and threw some sand on top of his ass, okay? This is Moses, okay, one of the patriarchs. And when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together, and he said unto him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? So the next day, Moses was out and about and saw two Akim fighting together. And he said, man, why is y'all fighting? Y'all brothers, man. Why y'all fighting each other? Okay. And he said, who made thee a prince of the judge over us? So they stopped fighting each other and started talking shit to Moses. And he said, and you know what they said? Even though Moses was trying to get them to be brotherly and love each other and stop fighting, they looked at him and said, man, who said you the judge over us? Okay. Intendest thou to kill me if thou killedest the Egyptian? So like, oh, what, you gonna kill me like you killed that Egyptian? That's Israel for you, man. Our people be doing mad corny shit like that, yo. And Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known. So Moses was like, damn, so how did they find out? You know? Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses, but Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water and filled the troughs to the water their father's flock. And the shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock. And when they came to Reuel, their father, he said, how is it that ye are come so soon today? And they said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us, and watered the flock. And he said unto his daughters, and where is he? Why is it that ye have left the man? Call him, that he may eat bread. And Moses was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses Zipporah, his daughter. Okay? And she bare him a son, and he called his name Gershom, for he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land. So, you know, Moses would have never met his wife, would have never had a child, had a son with that woman, had he not handled his business. The whole thing, man, from Moses killing that wicked ass Egyptian, the oppressor, to Moses being on the run, to coming across a woman and helping, giving her a hand, and receiving a wife, man. That all came from faith, man. And him not being afraid to stand up for what was right, even when it came to spilling the blood of your oppressor. Period, man. Of your enemy. Period, man. You know, it's just the truth. I mean, what else? What are you getting out of this? Come on now. It's straight up, you know, it just is what it is. Let's go to 2 Kings, chapter 19, verse 32 to 36. Therefore, thus saith the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, he shall not come into this city, nor shoot an arrow here, nor come before it with a shield, nor cast a bank against it. By the way that he came, by the same shall he return, and shall not come into this city, saith the Lord. For I will defend this city, to save it, for mine own sake, and for my servant David's sake. It came to pass that night that the angel of the Lord went out and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and went and returned and dwelt at Nineveh. So, yep. Now that's some supernatural power right there, man. So if it's if there's nothing you can do about it, or if you're outnumbered greatly, man, yeah, then Yahweh Shai will intercede. He'll handle it. Yeah, and that's the faith you gotta have. Because it's not by your own might or by your own strength. Yahweh Shai has control over it all, man. So Yahweh Shai sent a death angel to slaughter, 100, a score is 20, so 180, that's 4 score, and 185,000 Assyrians were put to death, man, in the middle of the night by the death angel of Yahweh Shai. Okay, because they was trying to besiege the city of King David, man. The King David and his soldiers, they even had to draw the sword. Yahweh Shai handled that, right? Let's go to Deuteronomy 31:8. And the Lord, he it is that doth go before thee. He will be with thee. He will not fail thee, neither forsake thee. Fear not, neither be dismayed. And this is what you got to know in the times coming. I'm telling y'all, Aki, man, Esau's on these websites. All these rifles is sold out. A lot of this ammunition is sold out. These Edomites are buying it. Okay, Jacob's trouble is going to be something serious. And we're going to see a lot of our brethren fall. But if Yahweh is dealing with you, he will deliver your enemy into your hands. Be not afraid, man. Grab your nuts and handle your business. Are you a man or are you a fucking woman? You're going to let these Edomites gang up and think they're going to run up in your house and spoil your woman and rape your woman and rape your children? You just going to call on the Lord? I mean, yeah, you should. Nonetheless, but if you can get you a weapon, well, I don't care if it's a machete. I don't care if it's a Bowie knife. I don't care if it's a baseball bat. I don't care if it's a shotgun or a rifle. Be a man. Okay? Enough of this effeminate Christian bullshit. Be a man and handle your business. Okay? Because the Lord goes before you. He will be with you. He will not fail you, neither forsake you. Fear not, neither be dismayed. I don't care about Esau's MRAPs. I don't care about Esau's Marines. I don't care about his UN peacekeepers. They come knocking on my door, they can get some. Damn it. And that's the attitude you need to have, man. If you got the Lord, man, you got the victory. Point blank, period. Even if Yahweh does supernaturally intervene, he will do that. We just read that in 2 Kings, the 19th chapter. How he sent this angel to kill 185,000 Assyrian soldiers, man. They were all dead corpses by the next day. Let's go to 2 Kings, the 6th chapter, verse 13 through 18. Okay. And he said, go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him. And it was told him, saying, behold, he is in Dothan. Therefore he sent, this is talking about Elijah. Okay. Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host. What the heck? See, man, that's Satan, man. Let's go back down. Sorry, Akim. Lost my place. Okay. Yep. Here we go. It was looking for Elijah, y'all. So let's continue. Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host. And they came by night and compassed the city about. And when the servant of the man of God was risen early and gone forth, behold, an host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, alas, my master, how shall we do? And he answered, this is what Elijah said, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. Okay. And when they came down to him, Elijah prayed unto the Lord and said, smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elijah. So we have power, man, in the name of Yahweh, man. If he knows you and considers you a servant, man, Yahweh got your back. You don't got to worry about nothing else, man. It's beautiful. Right? So his servant was fearful because of all the chariots and horses and people that was trying to come get Elijah. Because of Jezebel, wicked ass. I think her husband called for Elijah to try to capture him. And Elijah had the armies of the angelic forces of Yahweh standing up for him, man. You know, and he smote them with blindness. All those men in chariots and horseback. You know what? Elijah could have put them to death, but he didn't. He fed them. Okay? He showed them abundant mercy. Okay? But don't forget about what Elijah did with the Baal priest. When he had that showdown with the Baal priest, when they called upon their God, and when Elijah called upon his power burnt up the sacrifice that was drenched in water, man, and burnt it up to where nothing was perceived but smoke. Elijah took them 450 Baal priests of Jezebel and smote their ass, put them to death, man. So Elijah was a killer too. It's just the reality of it. Okay? And for righteousness' sake, that's the difference. Let's go to the book of Jasher, chapter 64, verse 12 through 50. This is a good read right here. It's about Zepho, who was an Edomite, okay? And he was trying to go to war and joining forces with other nations to go to war with Egypt, that he may avenge his forefathers on the children of Jacob, okay? This is what happened. So this Edomite came. Let me just go ahead and read it. Now, therefore, I have resolved to fight against Egypt and the children of Jacob who are there. And I will be revenged of them for what Joseph, his brethren, and ancestors did to us in the land of Canaan, when they went up to bury their father in Hebron. Now then, we'll talk about what happened. We're going to talk about what happened in a minute. They got their ass fucked up. That's what happened. Now let's continue. Now then, if you are willing to come to me to assist me in fighting against them in Egypt, then shall we avenge the cause of our brethren. And the children of Esau hearkened to the words of Zepho. And the children of Esau gathered themselves together, a very great people, and they went to assist Zepho and the children of Chittim in battle. And Zepho sent to all the children of the east and to all the children of Ishmael with words like unto these. And they gathered themselves to come to the assistance of Zepho and the children of Chittim in the war upon Egypt. So he was trying to go to war with Egypt. This Edomite was trying to go to war with Egypt that he can touch Israel. Okay? And all these kings, the king of Edom and the children of the east and all the children of Ishmael and Zepho the king of Chittim went forth and arrayed all their hosts in Hebron. And the camp was very heavy, extending in length of a distance of 3 days' journey, a people numerous as the sand upon the seashore, which cannot be counted. Woo! Esau came down deep. Zepho came down deep, man. And all these kings and their hosts went down and came against all Egypt in battle, and they camped together in the valley of Pathros. And all Egypt heard their report, and they also gathered themselves together. All the people of the land of Egypt and of all the cities belonging to Egypt, about 300,000 men. And the men of Egypt sent also to the children of Israel who were in those days in the land of Goshen to come to them in order to go fight with these kings. And the men of Israel assembled and were about 150 men, and they went into battle to assist the Egyptians. So these Egyptians had 300,000 people to try to fight up against Zepho and his coalitions. Who were lined up, the soldiers lined up were a 3 days journey, uncountable amount of people. Egypt had about 3,000 people, and Israel, these Egyptians recruited some Israelites, and there was only 150 of them. Okay, now let's continue. And the men of Israel and of Egypt went forth, about 300,000 men and 150 men. Right? And they went toward these kings to battle, and they placed themselves from without the land of Goshen opposite of Pathros. And the Egyptians believed not in Israel to go with them in their camps together for battle. For all the Egyptians said, perhaps the children of Israel will deliver us into the hands of Esau and Ishmael, for they are their brethren. Okay, and that's true. Okay, Ishmael it came from Abraham and Hagar, right? And Esau was the twin brother of Jacob, right? So let's continue. Even though that wasn't the case, that's what the Egyptians were thinking. They knew we was all related. You know what I'm saying? Even though our brethren make war against us, especially in this story, and even now, Esau hates Jacob. It's perpetual. But that's the story of another. That's the story for another lesson. Let's continue. And all the Egyptians said unto the children of Israel, remain you here together in your stand, and we will go and fight against the children of Esau and Ishmael. And if these kings should prevail over us, then come you all together upon them and assist us. And the children of Israel did so. And Zepho, the son of Eliphaz, the son of Esau, king of Chittim. Okay, so Zepho was Amalek's brother as well. See, this is breaking down the tabernacles of Esau. You understand? But nonetheless, and Zepho, the son of Eliphaz, the son of Esau, king of Chittim, and Hadad, the son of Bedad, king of Edom, and all their camps, and all the children of the east, and the children of Ishmael, a people numerous as sand, encamped together in the valley of Pathros, opposite of Tachpanches. And Balaam, the son of Beor, the Syrian, was there in the camp of Zepho, for he came with the children of Chittim to the battle. And Balaam was a man highly honored in the eyes of Zepho and his men. And Zepho said unto Balaam, try by divination for us, that we may know who will prevail in the battle, we or the Egyptians. And Balaam rose up and tried the art of divination, and he was skillful in the knowledge of it. But he was confused, and the work was destroyed in his hands. Right? That's the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. He confounded him in his witchcraft. Now look, and he tried it again, but it did not succeed. And Balaam despaired of it and left it and did not complete it. For this was from the Lord, in order to cause Zepho and his people to fall into the hands of the children of Israel, who had trusted in the Lord, the God of their ancestors, in their wars. Yeah. And Zepho and Hadad put their forces in battle array. And all the Egyptians went home, Salakia, and all the Egyptians went alone against them, about 300,000 men, and not one man of Israel was with them. And the Egyptians fought with these kings opposite Pathros and Tapanches, and the battle was severe against the Egyptians. Them 300,000 Egyptians was getting their ass whooped. And the kings were stronger than the Egyptians in that battle. And about 180 men of Egypt fell on that day, and about 30 men of the forces of the kings. And all the men of Egypt fled before the kings. So the children of Esau and Ishmael pursued the Egyptians, continuing to smite them unto the place where was the camp of the children of Israel. Yeah, they was getting pursued. Them Egyptians was getting their ass handed to them, man. They started running, and Esau and Ishmael was fucking them up while they was running, man, putting them to death. Let's go to verse 33. And all the Egyptians cried unto the children of Israel, saying, Hasten to us and assist us and save us from the hand of Esau, Ishmael, and the children of Chittim. And the 150 men of the children of Israel ran from their station to the camps of these kings. And the children of Israel cried unto the Lord their God to deliver them. And the Lord hearkened to Israel. And the Lord gave all the men of the kings into their hand. And the children of Israel fought against these kings. And the children of Israel smote about 4,000 of the king's men. This is 150 Israelites, man. Call Elohim Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. The Lord is with us, man. Indeed, there's no need to fear, man. Israel put to death all them kings and then killed about 4,000 men. 150 dudes killed 4,000 men. 150 Israelites. Okay, and this is why Esau don't want you knowing who you are. This is why the nations don't want you knowing who you are and getting back to your power, because you will crush them and they'll be up under you again, man. It's the power of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai and his covenant with the nation of Yasharallah, man. Let's continue. And the Lord threw a great consternation in the camp of the kings, so that the fear of the children of Israel fell upon them. That's right. Yep, the Lord put that spirit of fear on their ass. And all the hosts of the kings fled from before the children of Israel, and the children of Israel pursued them, continuing to smite them unto the borders of the land of Cush. And the children of Israel slew of them in the road yet 2,000 men. So that's 6,000 now that they done put to death. And the children of Israel, not one fell. That's right. Call Halom Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. Not one Israelite died. This is 150 Israelites, putting thousands of men to death. And when the Egyptians saw that the children of Israel had fought with such few men with the kings, and that the battle was very sore severe against them, all the Egyptians were greatly afraid of their lives on account of the strong battle. And all Egypt fled, every man hiding himself from the arrayed forces. And they hid themselves in the road, and they left the Israelites to fight. So the Egyptians abandoned the Israelites, man. They was afraid of the Israelites. 150 Israelites, man. And the children of Israel inflicted a terrible blow upon the king's men, and they returned from them after they had driven them to the border of the land of Cush. And all Israel knew the thing which the men of the Egypt have done to them. So Israel knew that Egypt abandoned them, okay? These Egyptians abandoned them, that they had fled from them in battle and had left them to fight alone. So the children of Israel also acted with cunning, and as the children of Israel returned from the battle, they found some of the Egyptians in the road and smote them there. Put their ass to death, man. And whilst they slew them, they said unto them these words: Wherefore did you go from us and leave us, being a few people, to fight against these kings, who had a great people to smite us, that you might thereby deliver your own souls? And some of which the Israelites met on the road, they, the children of Israel, spoke to each other, saying, Smite, smite, for he is an Ishmaelite or an Edomite, or from the children of Chittim. And they stood over him and slew him, and they knew that he was an Egyptian. Yep. That's funny as hell, man. Let's read that again. And some of which the Israelites met on the road, they, the children of Israel, spoke to each other, saying, Smite, smite, for he is an Ishmaelite or an Edomite, or from the children of Chittim. And they stood over him and slew him, and they knew that he was an Egyptian. Our people funny, man. Jake funny, man. started killing these Egyptians and pretending like they didn't know they was killing them. Trying to pretend that they thought they were Ishmaelites and Edomites and the children of Chittim. Man, they knew. And the children of Israel did these things cunningly against the Egyptians, because they had deserted them in the battle and had fled from them. And the children of Israel slew of the men of Egypt in the road in this manner, about 200 men. And all the men of Egypt saw the evil which the children of Israel had done to them. So all Egypt feared greatly the children of Israel, for they had seen their great power, and that not one man of them had fallen. So all the children of Israel returned with joy on their road to Goshen, and the rest of Egypt returned each man into his place. Woo, man, that's crazy, right? It's beautiful. Look at that time, 4:41 in the morning, y'all. 1:44. Call Halom Yahweh Shem Yahamashah. Let's continue, man. That's a wonderful story. I thought I might throw that in there, man. Let's go to the Testament of Judah. Yes, sir. We're gonna go to the Patriarchs right now, man. That's what it's called, the War Scrolls of the Patriarchs, baby. Wars of the Patriarchs. Let's go to the Testament of Judah, man. He was a warrior. All of Israel were warriors, man. But let's go to Judah. Let's start at chapter 1, verse 16 through 51. Okay. And when the two kings of the Canaanites came sheathed in armor against our flocks, and much people with them, single-handed, I rushed upon the king of Hazor, and smote him on the greaves, and dragged him down. And so I slew him. And the other king, the king of Tapua, as he sat upon his horse, I slew. And so I scattered all his people. Achor, the king, a man of giant stature, I found hurling javelins before and behind as he sat on horseback. And I took up a stone of 60 pounds weight, and hurled it, and smote his horse, and killed it. And I fought with this other for 2 hours, and I clave his shield in twain, and I chopped off his feet, and killed him. And as I was stripping off his breastplate, behold, 9 men, his companions, began to fight with me. And I wound my garment up in my hand, and I slung stones at them, and killed 4 of them, and the rest fled. And Jacob, my father, slew Beliseth, king of all kings, a giant in strength, 12 cubits high, and fear fell upon them, and they ceased warring against us. Therefore my father was free from anxiety in the wars when I was with my brethren. For he saw in a vision concerning me that an angel of might followed me everywhere, that I should not be overcome. That's right. And that angel of might is the archangel Michael, man. Yep. We're going to talk about that. And that's in Daniel chapter 12 tells you that this angel is going to rise up in Jacob's trouble, man. So we're going to get ready to fuck these heathens up when they come down. Yeah, 2/3. They're going to get 2/3. But if you're of the remnant or the elect, man, they're going to have a bad time. They're going to have a hard time. Right? Now let's continue. And in the south, there came upon us a greater war than that in Shechem. And I joined in battle array with my brethren, and pursued 1,000 men, and slew of them 200 men and 4 kings. Woo! And I went up upon the wall, and I slew 4 mighty men. And so we captured Hazor, and took all the spoil. And the next day we departed to Arvaton, a city strong and walled and inaccessible, threatening us with death. But I and Gad approached on the east side of the city, and Reuben and Levi on the west. And they that were upon the wall, thinking that we were alone, were drawn down against us. And so my brothers secretly climbed up the wall on both sides by stakes, and entered the city, while the men knew it not. And we took it with the edge of the sword. And as for those who had taken refuge in the tower, we set fire to the tower, and took both it and them. And as we were departing, the men of Tapua seized our spoil, and seeing this, we fought with them, and we slew them all, and recovered our spoil. And when I was at the waters of Kozba, the men of Jobel came against us to battle, and we fought with them, and routed them, and their allies from Shiloh we slew. And we did not leave them power to come against us. And the men of Machir came upon us the 5th day to seize our spoil, and we attacked them and overcame them in fierce battle, for there was a host of mighty men amongst them, and we slew them before they had gone up the ascent. And when we came to their city, their woman rolled upon us stones from the brow of the hill on which the city stood. And I and Simeon had ourselves behind the town, and seized upon the heights, and destroyed this city also. The next day it was told us that the king of the city of Gash with a mighty host was coming against us. I therefore and Dan feigned ourselves to be Amorites, and his allies went into their city. And in the depth of the night our brethren came, and we opened to them the gates, and we destroyed all the men and their substance, and we took for a prey all that was theirs. In their 3 walls we cast down, and we drew near to Thamnah, where was all the substance of the hostile kings. Then, being insulted by them, I was therefore wroth, and rushed against them to the summit. And they kept slinging against me stones and darts, and had not Dan my brother aided me, they would have slain me. We came upon them therefore with wrath, and they all fled. And passing by another way, they fought my father, and he made peace with them. And we did to them no hurt, and they became tributary to us, and we restored to them their spoil. And I built Thamnah, and my father built Pabael. I was 20 years old when this war befell, and the Canaanites feared me and my brethren. Oh yeah, man, Judah used to get down, man. Jacob and his 12 sons used to get down. War, baby. They used to go to war, slaying thousands, man. Let's go to the Testament of Judah, chapter 2, verse 1 through 9. Okay? In 18 years, my father abode in peace with his brother Esau, and his sons with us. After that, we came from Mesopotamia, from Laban. And when 18 years were fulfilled, in the 40th year of my life, so Judah is 40 now, Esau, the brother of my father, came upon us with a mighty and strong people. And Jacob smote Esau with an arrow, and he was taken up wounded on Mount Seir. And as he went, he died at Anarim. Yep, so Jacob killed Esau. How did Esau die? Jacob killed his ass with an arrow, wounded him, and he died from his wounds. And we pursued after the sons of Esau. Now they had a city with walls of iron and gates of brass, and we could not enter into it. And we encamped around and besieged it. And when they opened not to us in 20 days, I set up a ladder in the sight of all. With my shield upon my head, I went up, sustaining the assault of stones, upwards of 3 talents weight. And I slew 4 of their mighty men, and Reuben and Gad slew 6 others. Then they asked from us terms of peace. And having taken counsel with our father, we received them as tributaries. Yeah, man, we ruled over these Edomites, man. We fucked them up. And we're about to again, man. We're about to again, dog. Beautiful story, right? Let's continue. And they gave us 500 cores of wheat, 500 baths of oil, 500 measures of wine, until the famine when we went down into Egypt. Woo, man. Our forefathers used to get it in, man. So that's in the Testament of Judah, how Judah and his brethren and his father, Jacob, went to war with these Edomites, man. And we had them as tributaries up under us. Let's go ahead and go to the Testament of Levi, right? Chapter 2, verse 9 through 14. And thereupon the angel opened to me the gates of heaven, and I saw the holy temple, and upon the throne of glory the Most High. And he said to me, Levi, I have given thee the blessing of the priesthood until I come and sojourn in the midst of Israel. Then the angel brought me down to the earth, and gave me a shield and a sword, and said to me, execute vengeance on Shechem because of Dinah thy sister, and I will be with thee, because the Lord hath sent me. And I destroyed at that time the sons of Hamor, as it is written in the heavenly tables. And I said to him, I pray thee, O Lord, tell me thy name, that I may call upon thee in the day of tribulation. And he said, I am the angel who intercedeth for the nation of Israel, that they may not be smitten utterly, for every evil spirit attacketh it. Okay? So angel of the Lord told Levi to go ahead and make war with Shechem and Hamor, man, and put them to death for raping Dinah, man. Yeah, let's continue. Who this angel is? Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time, this is Jacob's trouble, at that time Michael shall stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. We have an angel over us, man. For the elect, we have supernatural powers, man. We have an angel that's charged over us, man. You brethren have to know this. I'm bringing it out. There shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Yep, the book of life, man. Testament, or the book of the elect. Testament of Levi, chapter 3, verse 1 through 12. When I was going to my father, I found a brazen shield. Wherefore also the name of the mountain is Aspis, which is near Gebal, to the south of Abila. And I kept these words in my heart. And after this I counseled my father and Reuben my brother to bid the sons of Hamor not to be circumcised, for I was zealous because of the abomination which they had wrought on my sister. And I slew Shechem first, and Simeon slew Hamor. And after this my brothers came and smote that city with the edge of the sword. And my father heard these things and was wroth, and he was grieved in that they had received the circumcision, and after that had been put to death. And in his blessings he looked amiss upon us, for we sinned because we had done this thing against his will. But you know what? It was Yahweh Hashem Yahushai's will. Okay? And he was sick on that day. But I saw that the sentence of God was for evil upon Shechem, for they sought to do to Sarah and Rebekah as they had done to Dinah, our sister. But the Lord prevented them. And they persecuted Abraham our father when he was a stranger, and they vexed his flocks when they were big with young. And Ablain, who was born in his house, they most shamefully handled. And thus they did to all strangers, taking away their wives by force. And they banished them. But the wrath of the Lord came upon them to the uttermost. And who was the executioner of that wrath? The sons of Jacob. Okay, and that's going to be the case again. And I said to my father Jacob, by thee will the Lord despoil the Canaanites, and will give their land to thee and to thy seed after thee. For from this day forward shall Shechem be called the city of imbeciles. For as a man mocketh a fool, so do we mock them. Because also they had wrought folly in Israel by defiling my sister. And we departed and came to Bethel. Man, so we're going to get into part 3. The last stand. That is the next part. But nonetheless, man, these Patriarchs of War, I pray it was edifying for you all. You know, I went to some of the non-canon for y'all, man, so y'all can really get an eye on how our people and how our forefathers was really built, man, where we followed Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, where we had that power on our side, man. I really pray that this was edifying and a faith booster. And until next time.